It was a Tuesday night. She was sitting on my couch, legs curled up, scrolling through her phone like she hadn't just hit me with a sucker punch. No emotion. No hesitation. Just said it flat. "You'll never be as good as my ex. Just more convenient." She didn't even look up when she said it. That was the part that stuck. Like she was confirming a weather report. Like I should already know. I remember my hand resting on my knee. I remember the way the heat crawled up my spine. Not rage. Just that cold, heavy realization that you've been living in someone else's shadow the whole time, and they didn't even care enough to hide it. She kept scrolling. I said, "All right. That's it." Just one word. Not because I didn't have more to say, but because I wasn't gonna perform. She wanted a reaction, something she could twist. I gave her silence. That silence was the loudest I'd ever been. She laughed a little. "You mad?" "Nah," I said. "I'm clear." She went on some rant about how I didn't have ambition, how he used to fly her out, how she missed the way he moved. I let her talk. Because sometimes, letting someone dig their own grave is the kindest thing you can do for both of you. I got up. Grabbed my keys. Told her she could stay the night but she had to be gone by morning. No yelling. No debate. Just a line drawn. That night I drove around. Hit a diner. Sat at the counter and just breathed. Hadn't done that in months. Not since I started putting her needs ahead of my own every damn day. Every missed gym session. Every cancelled plan. Every time I covered a bill and told myself, "It's just temporary." It wasn't. It was a pattern. I started seeing the whole playbook. The way she used comparison as control. Dropped his name any time she felt insecure. Told me how lucky I was to have her, but never acted like she felt lucky to have me. Everything was transactional. Cooked when she wanted something. Got affectionate when rent was due. Went cold when I said no. I used to think she was just complicated. Nah. She was calculated. The next morning, I came back. She was still there. Makeup on. Acting like nothing happened. Said she wanted to reset things. "You mean like a phone?" I said. "Because I'm not a device." She pouted. Said I was being dramatic. Said I took everything too personally. I nodded. Then I opened the closet and pulled out the little overnight bag she kept. Dropped it by the door. "What, you're really doing this?" "You already did. I'm just catching up." She stormed out. Said I was weak. That her ex would never be this insecure. "Good," I said. "Let him have you." I locked the door. Changed the code. Took my space back. That week, I got my appetite back. My humor. My damn music. You don't realize how much of your rhythm gets hijacked until you hear your favorite song again, and it finally sounds like yours. I told the guys at work what happened. One of them just shook his head and said, "Better now than after a kid." He was right. A month passed. She texted, "Hey, I miss talking to you." I left it on read. 2 weeks later. "You were the only one who really cared about me." Delete. Then came the mutual friend message. She was back with the ex moved in. Said they were starting over. Said he changed. That told me everything I needed to know. Because that wasn't a comeback. That was a loop. And I don't do reruns. See, being convenient isn't a flaw. It just means I made her life easier. Fed her when she didn't ask. Fixed her car when she didn't say thank you. Showed up. That's not weakness. That's strength misused. And now? I use it on people who don't weaponize it. I started dating again. On my terms. No flexing. No trying to prove I'm better than some ghost she won't stop resurrecting. Just showing up as me. And that's enough. One woman told me, "You make everything feel calm." That hit harder than any compliment I ever got. Because I realized, the right ones don't crave chaos. They value clarity. They don't compare you to their past. They build with you in the present. My ex? She'll keep chasing what hurt her. And calling it passion. Let her. I'll be over here. Living. Simple. Solid. No more auditions. I'm not trying out for love. I am the role. Peace isn't loud. It doesn't show up with fanfare. It's just the absence of second-guessing yourself every time you speak. And that's what I found once she was gone. I started sleeping deeper. Eating better. I stopped waiting for her texts. Stopped hoping she'd see my value through the chaos she constantly invited. I didn't realize how much of my time was spent in emotional damage control until I had none of it to manage anymore. There was this odd stretch of time right after she left where I kept looking over my shoulder, like I'd forgotten something. Like there was some task I hadn't done. Then I realized it was just that I wasn't being drained anymore. The hard part wasn't letting her go. It was forgiving myself for ever thinking that kind of treatment was love. I had to sit with that. Own my part. Not just what I tolerated, but what I excused. What I called patience was really fear. Fear that if I stood up for myself, she'd leave. Turns out, standing up was the only way she ever actually did. I saw her one more time. On accident. A mutual friend's party. I wasn't gonna go, but I did. And I'm glad I did. She looked tired. Still beautiful, but faded. Like someone living in the past and trying to smile through it. She came over. Tried to hug me. I kept it brief. You look good, she said. I feel good. I think about you sometimes. I don't, I said. She paused. I think she expected something softer. Some sign that I still held space for her. But I didn't. That space was rented out to peace now. No room for drama. No storage for old pain. She mentioned her ex said they weren't working out. Said he hadn't changed. People don't, I said. And I meant it. She wanted to talk more. I cut it off. I wish you well, I told her. But I'm not your therapist, your fixer, or your fallback. That was it. It wasn't cruel. It was honest. Boundaries don't have to be barbed wire. Sometimes they're just closed doors with a lock that works. After that, I stopped checking mutual friends' stories. Stopped wondering what she was doing. I was too busy doing me. Work got better. My relationships deepened. I started trusting again, but slower this time. I learned that trust isn't about ignoring red flags. It's about not giving discounts on your peace. The woman I'm seeing now? She doesn't test me. Doesn't compare. She doesn't need chaos to feel alive. We talk. We plan. We laugh. I used to think relationships had to be dramatic to be real. That if it didn't hurt a little, it wasn't deep. Nah. Real love is calm. It's stable. It lets you sleep through the night and wake up without a knot in your chest. And if she ever thinks about me, I hope she remembers not how much I did for her, but how I left. Because how a man exits says more than how he stays. I stayed longer than I should have. But I left exactly when I was done. And I never looked back. It's funny what peace makes room for. The moment I stopped trying to convince the wrong person of my worth, the right things started showing up. Little stuff, mostly. A good morning text that wasn't followed by neediness. Someone laughing at my jokes without a follow-up jab. A woman who didn't treat being decent like it made her a saint. I caught myself smiling for no reason one day. Sitting at a red light. Just breathing easy. That used to be rare. I lived in reaction mode before. Always bracing for mood swings, guessing games, some new way I wasn't measuring up to a guy who used to throw her phone across the room and call that love. Now? My phone stays on the table. No anxiety. No silent treatments. If there's an issue, we talk. And I mean talk, not test. No weaponized silence. No loyalty quizzes. That's the real win. It's not proving her wrong. It's never needing to prove myself again. I don't compare anymore. I don't keep score. I don't chase. I lead with clarity, and the ones who match it stay. She lost access to me the moment she called me convenient. The next woman got a version of me built from every lesson that came after. And this time, I built the damn door, not just the welcome mat. Real clarity didn't come from one moment. It was the slow build-up of living different day by day. I woke up earlier. I cooked breakfast for myself instead of grabbing gas station food on the go. I called my dad more. Fixed the drywall crack in the hallway. Replaced the showerhead I kept ignoring. I started taking care of my own life the way I used to take care of hers. You do that enough days in a row, and suddenly you don't miss the chaos. You crave the consistency. You stop looking for someone to complete you, because you realize you were never broken. You just kept getting interrupted by someone who benefited from your confusion. I joined a small group of guys from my gym. Just regular dudes. Some single, some divorced, some married with kids. And we talked. Not fake tough guy talk, not trauma dumps. Just real stuff. Bills. Aging parents. Boundaries. We shared playbooks. One guy said something that stuck. The real ones don't punish you for being available. They reward it. I took that to heart. Because I was done giving effort to people who saw consistency as a weakness. The woman I was seeing then, she noticed. Noticed I listened with both ears. That I didn't interrupt. That I wasn't afraid of silence. She said, "You feel solid." That word did something to me. Not flashy. Not fun. Not impressive. Solid. That was the goal all along. I wasn't chasing love. I was building something. A life. A rhythm. Something that could hold weight. And this time, I wasn't rushing it. I wasn't hoping for fireworks. I just wanted something that didn't make me question myself every time the phone dinged. There were tests, sure. Little moments that would have broken the old me. One time she brought up her ex. Not in a comparison way, just a story from her past. I didn't flinch. Just listened. Didn't need to measure myself against a ghost. That part of me was dead. Another time, she asked me where I saw us in a year. That used to terrify me. Now? I told her the truth. If we keep showing up like this, I see us in something real. If not, I'll be fine either way. That answer didn't scare her. It made her trust me more. Because certainty doesn't come from control. It comes from calm. I stopped fearing loss the day I realized I had myself. So yeah, maybe I wasn't as good as her ex at the club or in the group chat, or whatever fantasy he held in her mind. But I was better in every way that mattered. And I didn't need her to see that. I needed to see it for myself. And now that I do, I don't chase. I choose. She chose chaos. I chose peace. And that's a trade I'll make every single time.